It's What's on My Workdesk Wednesday. And so we have peach roses and teal. Last week I made this page full of stuffed pockets and things. Let's see where this week takes us. It has been ridiculously hot today in Berlin. So if I'm a little on the slow side, forgive me. But I want to have a play on the next page. And so let's see what we've got in the way of stuff to work with. So, of course, I'm going to get out my folder that has all my printables in, some that I've purchased from other people, some that I've designed myself, some that are freebies like this lot, and this that you can just see out of screen comes with my monthly newsletter. So let's just see what I have got that I can add to my book. So I'm just going through. I quite like those colors will work. These colors will work. So I'm just going to pull some of these things out. I think that one is part of that one. So sometimes I've got things cut out separately and then I'll use those. So what I'm just doing is shopping my stash and we will take it from there. So here we have the rest of the collection. I know it's difficult for you to see because I have to zoom in so that you can see my book that I'm working in, but then it also means it's quite difficult to actually see what's in my book. So it's like a real catch-22. So let me just see if I can get the chat up going on my there we go, chat on my screen. There we go. So I won't miss if there are any comments. So now when I'm looking at my page, as I said, I've got these, the colors go quite nicely. And what I've got is one that I've cut out like a sticker with the white outline, and then the other one that I've got cut quite close to, well, actually on the image. So I think I will go with that one and pop that one out the way for now. I'm just shopping my stash and I'm putting it to one side to see if there is anything that I want to use. I've got this really nice big area to be able to play in today that has a lot of open space. So I've got some of these papers, these tags I have already, or tickets I've already got out. I've got more papers printed. So let's just see. Maybe I could make a waterfall. I could make flip ups. I can make all sorts of things. These go horizontal, will work nicely as pockets, especially as I don't have anything on the other side. So some of the stuff I have printed with things on the other side, like so, and others I have left plain. So this one, for example, would really work well as a pocket on that side. And then got something like this that the color scheme works really well with on this side, for example. So what I'm doing is just literally shopping my stash. Let's just see what I have got. So I like that as a pocket idea. And okay, so I'll pop those back. And tickets. I love tickets. And then, of course, so that color scheme works really well. I like the pink idea. Last time what I did is I took one of these tickets and cut it up and made it into a pocket. So it was one of these that became the pocket. And then that end that I chopped off, I just stuck on top. So there's lots of ways you can use all the bits and pieces. And so where to from here? Now perhaps I need to just decide what I'm going to do in the way of stamping and stenciling and possibly some paint today. So what theme am I going to go with? Last time I had the butterflies and the roses. So today we're starting with the rose. What about, and it's a postcard, so what about a postal theme? Let's see what I have got in the way of a postal theme. And I have more postcards, so perhaps let's see what I've got in the way of something that can go in this pocket. So, and the reason that I'm showing you this process is because that depends on what I'm then going to look for next. So if that works in a pocket, or perhaps something a little softer in color. Now these ones I have already pre-inked. Good evening, Sarah. Just going to drive home, but you can hear me. Okay, thank you. It's nice to have you on board. So I like that color scheme. This one I have already inked with my black soot. This one still needs inking. There was a bunch of stuff that I pre-cut and pre-inked. So that one can go back over there. Right. So I'm thinking that maybe a postal theme will be quite fun. So let's get out any stamps or stencils that do with post. And I need to slide that down there. So we have that. And while I remember, let me just get my black ink out and just ink this edge. I just like the way the black inking helps to make the layers pop against each other. So now that to me just looks a little bit more finished. I'm still not sure about this. I'm going to put it on one side. So postal theme. Let me get out my stencils. Oops. I'm going to put, I know you can't see what I'm doing because it's behind me, but I'm still here, I promise. I also have some of these stickers. I think are also some postal theme. And then I have some stamps. So let's just postage. There we go. So what I've got is a whole lot of my, and I'm not going to be able to show it to you completely because it's a great big lever arch file, but and I do need to make rather nice, better things, but they actually work for now. So I have postage in this one. So we're just going to flip through the file and see what we have. Again, you're not going to be able to see it all, but that's fine. I will show you what I choose. Oh, this file has caught some things. There we go. Just needs to flip over. It's rather, I think it's over full. I think that's its problem. So what I try and do is keep my stencils in kind of themes. And so, oh, that's quite a nice one from Vicky P. Vicky Papanero. I like that one. This one is also words. Now, for some reason, this that's causing the problem. Here's my postal set. So we go with, here is a stencil with postcard. So we'll take that one out. More postal. Don't think I'll use that one. Yes. So I'm going to pull this stencil out. These thin stencils are so delicate. You have to be really careful. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stick, normally I have it here next to me. Where is it? I'm going to stick a sticky note in where I took these out from. because then that means that when I come to put everything away like a good crafter at the end of the evening, that I'll be able to find where it went with not much difficulty. So you're getting a little bit of an insight into how I roll behind the scenes. It's just me doing it out loud and being recorded at the same time. So next we have to decide what's going where. So I've already said that I'm going to have this pocket over here. So what I like to do is build layers. And hello, Annelise. Nice to have you in the chat and watching. So when I build layers, just because I know I'm going to stick this here, doesn't mean that I can't have some sort of design disappearing behind here. So I quite like doing that with stencil work or stamp work, so that it builds. I mean, already I have built layers of script and textures and papers and so on, the roses on here, but it's nice. More is more in this case. So I saw somewhere the term postcard. So that one was on here. Let's see where we're going to put that, because it's going to definitely be too big to just fit unless I do postcard like so, which is entirely possible. But I think I might just have it going right across the page up at the top here. So I think I'm going to do that. And for that, what I'm going to use is a black ink. Now, you see, I've been working for 5 minutes. No, I lie, 12. And already my desk is down to a 6-inch square. How does that happen so quickly? Is it just me? So right, let's just get a bit more organized. And I want the postcard, so we're doing the whole post theme. And normally when I ink and so on, I use these applicator tools. But when I'm stenciling, I prefer a brush. So where are my brushes? I think this one feels like it's actually my archival one. So I have two. So I have an archival one of these, but you can see that I have labeled it because I don't want to get them mixed up. This one feels archival. Here's my black one. Yes, they're two completely different brushes. So let's put that one on one side using the proper brush. And I'm going with black, which is quite harsh, but I don't think it'll be too strong for this page. I want it to be kind of strong. And the nice thing with the brush is you can vary how much ink you load, where you load it. So I'm going to try and get the wording strongest and then let the details and things like these swirly twirly bits fade a little bit. That works. I want it a little bit darker over there. So when you're stenciling, you don't have to make everything like a solid color. It's quite nice when you have that light and dark kind of thing going on. Now, I feel like the script here is just too large. Already that is quite bold and dominant. So let's have a look and see what we've got here on this one. And I feel like that's backwards. It is. No, let's go with this finer script over here. And this is where I know it's going to disappear underneath the pocket, but that's fine. What I want is to have whatever this wording is, kind of just in the background over there. And of course, we're going to have our postcard in our postcard pocket. And I'm going to take the lettering onto the other side. So that mirrors the script that I already have here. And I'm just going to let this fade. And I'm going to let some of it fade onto this page as well. So that just brings your eye across onto this side. Right. Now, let's see what I have got in the way of postage stamps. I think is it in this one that has postage stamps? I have 3 boxes, and of course one is AWOL. Probably fallen on the floor and underneath all my things, but these are all tickets. And this ticket color scheme actually goes quite nicely. So we'll keep that out in front over there. And then I'll open this one and see what I have in the way of postage stamps. Oh, rats. I thought I had some. Okay. Of course it's in the one that's AWOL. Because that's just how things roll, isn't it? Next up, I want to look in my I know I had some in my funky fossil stuff. She says scratching in a box on a floor. Whoops, behind you with the punches going flying. Sorry about that. You can be so organized and yet. So let's have a look. See, I'm sure somewhere in here I know there was a die that made stamped edges. So yes, there it is, but that I've cut into a stamp. So let's just have a quick look in here and see if I have any punched out. There's another one. Otherwise, we'll just have to stamp it. So of course I have a million trillion things die cut and ready to go, but not for this theme today. Nope. Shopping my stash did not work. I've clearly shopped the stash for that already. So I'm going to leave those on my desk because I will quite possibly use them later. I don't feel like getting my dies out and die cutting stamps right now. So what am I going to do? Let's take the cracked pistachio works really well with this color scheme. So maybe I should stamp on the side and then I can do the stamp cancellation. Oh, come here. Don't be such a pest. Fine. I will win. Thank you. So ink it up like a normal stamp. This I have just die cut with craft foam. You can use any thickness. The thicker you use it, the better it is. Just makes it slightly easier. And I just used the normal thin silver. Don't know why that doesn't seem to want to take much in the way of ink. Come on, ink up. Don't soak it in. Okay, it doesn't need to be perfect because it's going in this corner over here where I can see it. I don't want to do it where it's already quite busy. So we want to stamp in a stamp shape. There we go. And we want another one, just a different shape. So this is thicker foam and it's much easier. It also cuts with the thin die. So they are still quite efficient, those dies, even though they are so thin. Right, that should be enough. and I can put it, say, there. And then being me, I need a third one somewhere else because I need to lead the eye around the page. So let's pop the pocket back so that I don't forget that it's there, because I was very tempted to put it somewhere over here. Perhaps what I'll do is, I don't want to bring it in a straight line. I want to have it somewhere over here so it can just stick out from behind where that pocket's going to be. Then, of course, we need to have some sort of image on it. And so let's have it sticking out over here. Ish, somewhere. There we go. And all I've done is just used some packaging and some double-sided tape to make that. I'll pop those face to face and give them a wash later. And I quite like how the fact that it's not perfect, but because I have used oxide, it might take a little while to dry. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop some paper towel on and I'm going to give it a blot, because I don't want it, splatting and coming off on the other side. The paper I am working on is 140 GSM double-sided matte photo paper. So it does tend to absorb the color quite quickly. So in theory, it shouldn't come off, but this is oxide, so we never know. It's kind of an unusual stuff. Right. Of course, I also have these big stamps, but they're going to be, like, if I use my black, that's going to be quite dark and solid, so I'm avoiding that for now. And so now this pocket will go down here like so and have that color just coming across. I think what I'm going to do at this point is I am going to glue down my pocket, because that way I know where I'm at. Right, let's just make sure that I have my pocket the right way up and that my glue is working. I might need to just give it a poke with a pin. Oh, there we go. In this heat, if you leave your glue open for a minute, it dries. It's been quite deadly today. Right, so I'm just putting a skinny line around the edge. Remember, as soon as you add pressure, that is going to ooze, and I've got too much in that corner, so I'm just taking that off. And I'm going to pop it down there and to one side, because I want to see that stamp. Try and make sure that I'm straight. It's not the end of the world if you're not. Right, so now I need some sort of image on there. And I have my stamps. Where are my stamps? I have my rose stamps here a minute ago. Oh, this desk. Shrinkage. No, not behind me. No. Okay. Well then, I'll have to work with something else. I was quite sure I had put them right here next to me. I've got my mouse pad, I've got my keypad, I've got my diary, I've got everything else under the sun, quite literally. Oh well. So let's play with what is close to hand. is this numbering stamp. So I'm going to let's look for what ink do I want, what color will go best with this. Let's go with a pink. I'm not sure what the pink in that is going to do, but I'm only going to ink number 2. So I'm doing it upside down so that I can see where I'm inking. Here we go. And we pop that in the middle of that. Just eyeballing the distance, yes. So I have no idea if I'm straight, but does it matter? No. Am I having fun? Yes. Is that what counts? Yes. Play with what you have. I hope I've squished that enough. Ha! That works quite nicely. Now it's picking up that coloration over there. So now we need something in that teeny tiny one over there. First I need to clean this because this is permanent ink and I don't want it getting onto other things. So I'm just going to clean that. Right. Let's see. What have I got in the way of other stuff? So let's see where we're at. We've got this over there. Now what am I going to do with my ticket today? I've got a lot of things going horizontal on this page, so I'm liking the vertical, and I'm kind of wanting to bring it in as part of this cluster that I'm creating over there. Right, and I had another ticket on this lot that I liked as well, so let's not forget that. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut this. Let's see where these end. So I want to cut in between because I just want to have this loose on my page so I can arrange it. If I peel it off, then I have to stick it. And I don't feel like having to stick anything. I'm just trying to see if there's something I can pull off here to have some repeat. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. Nothing else works. Okay, so maybe we can have ticket and ticket, admit 1. Now you see, I didn't close my glues. Now I should. Right. Now you see, part of my problem is that I tidied up. I keep saying this, one shouldn't tidy up if you're a crafter, really, because now I can't find my stamps. She says having another frantic scratch for stamps. No, 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 no. Not there. I don't exactly have the biggest studio on the face of this planet, you know. It's only 2 meters by 4 meters, so that it isn't really, it's still not a space to lose things. It's quite ridiculous. Okay, well, I will find something else. Let's just ignore that for now. I want to carry on and do the stamp or the cancellation. So how about, instead of using a stamp now with that color, how about we put that over the top and we use no, I need a brush that I have been using in archival ink. I think that's a clean one. Let's just see. I might have a brush down here. Yes, I do. It's huge. Okay, well, we'll just use it. Why not? It's been knocked by some of the other brushes, but that's not going to come off on my ink pad. Okay, so we're going to go through here because what I'm wanting to do is kind of link up those colors. And let's see what we've got. Okay, so that links. Now we need some over here. Now I don't need to have anything on there. That's fine. Absolutely fine. Let's see what else we have that we can repeat. So we've got a Paris, and we have Paris and Paris. So let's have 3 Parises going on. And we will have... So what's quite fun is I'm going to go onto my pocket and off my pocket, because then when I put my thing in the pocket, then I will break it up. So I'm going to just go lightly onto my pocket and go quite strongly off my pocket. Build the layers. Let's see what we've got. Hold it still, lift it up. I like that. And we need the third one. So we're going to have... I said I was going to build a little cluster over here, something like that. So perhaps let's have this other Paris sticking out of here like so. It's quite a huge brush to make it behave, so I've got to go... I'm going to be sticking this down. So let's use this as... Let's use the back of that just as my mask, so that if I go over the top, I don't make a stripe. I think that will work quite nicely. Right. So now we have that. So we have Paris, Paris, Paris. I was actually just chatting to a friend who is coming to Berlin for the last week of August. And we are going to be doing a workshop together, a summer school workshop. And I mean, it's crazy that I had to hear about this Berlin workshop from my friend in South Africa. And she is going to Paris with her husband for a week. So let's just see, does that work still? If I put it like so, yes, I think it does. Now I am going to add this ticket. And what I like about adding this ticket is that it has that green that is the same tone. I must say this page has gone quite quickly. It's quite fun to just play. Now these stickers are quite old, so I never trust the sticky that comes on these stickers, to be honest. And so now I'm going to break up that line. I want it coming in, and I'm going to commit and put it there. Right, I like that. And we're going to have that like that. So now what? Are we done? That was quick. Half an hour. Wow. Okay. So there you go. They don't always have to be long and overly complex pages. You just have to pick a theme. Oh, thanks, Angela. You just have to pick a theme shop your stash to see what you've got that will go with your theme. I mean, there's a lot more that I have on my desk here that I haven't even used. But I think if I add any more, it'll just actually get too busy because the paper already on this side was quite busy. And so I think I'm going to call that done. Wow. How's that for a record? A record live stream. So as usual, I mean, I do kind of have an idea in my head when I am planning a live as to what I think I'm going to do in the way of theme or color scheme or whatever. So there we have it. A really quick and easy and fun and really therapeutic, just having a play in my journal with the stuff that I have. Obviously, if I had to cut everything out, it would have taken a whole lot longer. But sometimes what I like to do is just sit and prepare all my stuff, which is what you saw at the beginning in that folder. And I even had most things pre-inked because sometimes you just don't feel like being necessarily creative, but you feel like doing something. So that's what I sometimes sit and do. I will print everything, I will sit and cut it all out, and then I organize it. I don't know why I find organizing so therapeutic. I really like to have all my stuff. I guess it's just because then it makes it user-friendly. It makes making decisions easier because if you're not hunting for stuff like my dear darling stamps that are probably actually in their drawer where they should be behind me. But I didn't think to look there. Why would I look where they should be? Heaven forbid. So there we go. Thanks for joining me this evening. And I will be live next Wednesday. Same time, same place. See you there. Bye for now.